Most people couldn't find Laos on a map, yet it's home to haunted plains, high-flying sports, and a cultural mix you won't find anywhere else on Earth. From mystical fireballs to world-record sticky rice eaters, this country's story is anything but ordinary. Let's pull back the curtain and explore 16 amazing secrets hidden in the heart of Indochina. I must mention that I don't have endless video footage from Laos. So many scenes may be replaced with photos or alternative visuals. If you spot any mistakes, whether in images, text, or even pronunciation, please let me know in the comments. I genuinely appreciate your corrections and will personally reply to every comment. Fact 1. The only landlocked nation in Southeast Asia. While Southeast Asia is famous for tropical islands and turquoise seas, Laos stands out as the region's only landlocked country. Nestled deep in the heart of Indochina, Laos is bordered by Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, China, and Myanmar, meaning there's not a single mile of coastline. This unique geographic situation has shaped much of the country's history and culture. Instead of bustling ports and ocean trade, the mighty Mekong River is Laos's main highway, serving as the lifeblood of both commerce and daily life. Imagine living in a place where the idea of a beach day means heading to a riverbank with locals rather than lounging by the ocean. Being landlocked has made Laos more isolated than its neighbors, preserving many traditional customs and a slower, more rural way of life. It also means the country relies heavily on cross-border friendships, especially with Thailand and Vietnam, to keep goods and people moving. For centuries, this isolation fostered a self-reliant spirit among the Lao people, making their culture one of the most distinctive and authentic in the region. Today, that remoteness is exactly what draws travelers who crave something beyond the typical Southeast Asian beach experience. If you're seeking a country where rivers run through wild jungles and mountains rule the horizon, Laos will not disappoint. Fact 2. The most heavily bombed country in history. If you thought history class was all about Europe, you've clearly never heard the story of Laos during the 20th century. Between 1964 and 1973, Laos earned a tragic title: the most heavily bombed country per capita in world history. During the so-called Secret War, American planes dropped more than 2 million tons of ordnance over Laos, more bombs than were dropped on Germany and Japan combined in World War II. That means, on average, there was a bombing run every 8 minutes, 24 hours a day, for nearly a decade. The scars of this relentless bombing are still visible. About 1/3 of all bombs failed to detonate, leaving countless unexploded devices scattered across rice paddies and rural hillsides. Farmers still find these deadly remnants, called UXO, unexploded ordnance, when plowing their fields, a constant reminder of the war's hidden legacy. Clearing these explosives is a painstaking process, with international teams working tirelessly to make land safe again. Yet despite this grim history, the spirit of the Lao people remains unbroken. They have built their lives around resilience and hope, turning fields of tragedy into places of peace and new beginnings. Visiting Laos, you'll find a nation that remembers its past but refuses to be defined by it. Fact 3. The Plain of Jars, an ancient and unsolved mystery. Deep in the misty highlands of central Laos lies a scene straight out of an Indiana Jones film, the legendary Plain of Jars. Spread across the Sheng Kuang Plateau, you'll discover more than 2,100 massive stone jars, some towering higher than most people. These ancient megaliths, dating back between 1,500 and 2,500 years, have puzzled archaeologists for generations. Nobody knows for certain who carved them, how they were transported, or why they were placed so deliberately across the fields. The most widely accepted theory is that they were used for burial rituals by Iron Age communities, but some locals will insist on wilder tales, from giants' drinking cups to mystical portals. The jars themselves are often hollowed-out boulders, with the largest weighing up to several tons, not a small feat for ancient engineers working without modern tools. Despite the surrounding land once being littered with unexploded bombs from wartime, significant areas have now been painstakingly cleared, making it safe for visitors to wander among the mysterious relics. The Plain of Jars was finally recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, protecting it for future generations. It's a haunting, otherworldly landscape, and standing among these silent sentinels, you can't help but feel you're walking through a story that the world still hasn't finished writing. Fact 4. Luang Prabang, the timeless heart of Laos. Imagine a city where the past isn't just remembered, it's lived every single day. That's Luang Prabang, the ancient royal capital nestled at the meeting point of the Mekong and Nam Khan rivers. Once the seat of Lao kings, Luang Prabang today feels like a perfectly preserved time capsule, earning its place as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1995. The town is dotted with more than 30 golden Buddhist temples, their roofs sweeping gracefully towards the sky, and streets lined with traditional wooden houses and remnants of elegant French colonial villas. At dawn, a silent procession of saffron-robed monks moves through the streets to collect alms, a tradition as old as the city itself. In Luang Prabang, every corner tells a story, from the legendary Phra Bang Buddha statue, which gave the town its name, to the bustling night market selling silk, silver, and local delicacies. The blend of Buddhist spirituality, royal heritage, and European flair creates an atmosphere unlike anywhere else in Asia. Stroll along its shady lanes or climb Mount Fuji for panoramic river views, and you'll quickly see why travelers call it the jewel of Laos. In Luang Prabang, time seems to slow down, inviting you to savor every peaceful moment. Fact 5. The Baci ceremony, calling back the soul. In Laos, the most heartfelt moments are often celebrated with a ceremony called Baci, or soul calling, that's been practiced for thousands of years. Whether it's a wedding, a new birth, someone returning home, or just wishing good luck before a big journey, the Baci is a way to bring balance and harmony to a person's life. The heart of the ritual involves tying simple white cotton threads around the wrist, while elders chant blessings, inviting the wandering spirits, called Quan, back into the body. For Laotians, it's believed that happiness and health depend on keeping all 32 spirits that inhabit the human form safely together, and if one drifts away, misfortune or sickness can follow. The Baci is usually held around a small altar decorated with marigolds, food, and, naturally, sticky rice. Everyone takes turns gently tying a string and whispering a wish or a prayer for well-being, success, or safe travels. The custom is so deeply rooted in the national identity that Laos has taken steps to nominate the Baci ceremony for UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage list. Witnessing or taking part in a Baci is a privilege, a rare invitation to experience the kindness, humility, and interconnectedness that are the true soul of Laos. Fact 6. Sticky rice, the real staple of Laos. Forget white jasmine rice or fancy sushi rolls. If you want to eat like a local in Laos, you'll have to embrace sticky rice, or khao niao. Laotians are the world champions when it comes to sticky rice consumption, munching through more of this glutinous grain per person than anyone else on Earth. On average, a Lao individual consumes over 345 pounds of sticky rice each year, making it not just a meal, but a way of life. The sticky rice is soaked, steamed in bamboo baskets, and then rolled into little balls, perfect for scooping up fiery dips and spicy Laap salad with your fingers. At every family table, you'll find a woven basket of sticky rice at the center, waiting to be shared. Even major ceremonies and religious rituals wouldn't be complete without offerings of uncooked sticky rice, a gesture of respect and goodwill. This humble grain thrives in the hilly, rain-fed paddies of Laos, where other rice varieties struggle to grow. Eating sticky rice is an art. Locals say it brings people together and keeps you grounded, literally and spiritually. For Laotians, sticky rice isn't just food, It's the heart and soul of every meal and every gathering. Fact 7. Laap, the signature taste of Laos. If you ask any Laotian what dish they miss most from home, the answer is almost always Laap, sometimes spelled larb, the undisputed national dish of Laos. Laap is a lively, herb-packed salad made from finely chopped meat or fish, often pork, beef, chicken, or even duck, tossed with fresh mint, cilantro, ground toasted rice, shallots, lime juice, fish sauce, and enough chili to wake up your taste buds. Served cool and eaten with bare hands, Laap is always accompanied by baskets of sticky rice and heaps of crisp raw vegetables, like cucumber and long beans. What makes Laap truly unique is the harmony of textures and flavors. It's juicy, crunchy, zesty, and just the right amount of spicy. Traditionally, families prepare Laap for special occasions, believing it brings luck and prosperity to those who share it. The word Laap even means good fortune or luck in Lao, a fitting title for a dish that's become a symbol of togetherness. Food in Laos is about much more than just eating. It's about community, celebration, and respect for local ingredients. Sampling Laap in a bustling street market or a family home is the quickest way to fall in love with Lao cuisine. Fact 8. Sepak takraw, Laos's high-flying national sport. In most countries, football or basketball dominates, but in Laos it's all about sepak takraw, or katao, as locals call it. Imagine a game where players leap, spin, and kick a rattan ball over a 5-foot-high net, using nothing but their feet, knees, chest, and head. Sepak takraw is like volleyball and soccer rolled into one, demanding agility, acrobatics, and razor-sharp reflexes. The sport is played on dusty village courts and in big city arenas, with kids perfecting bicycle kicks long before they can ride a real bike. In Laos, katao tournaments are huge events, drawing crowds eager to cheer on their village heroes and marvel at gravity-defying moves. But the sporting scene doesn't stop there. Laos also boasts Muay Lao, its own brutal and beautiful form of kickboxing, as well as pétanque, a legacy from the French colonial days, now as popular in Lao villages as it is in Parisian parks. And for something truly unique, some villages even host rhinoceros beetle wrestling matches. Yes, that's exactly what it sounds like. And yes, people actually bet on which beetle will emerge victorious. Sports in Laos are not just about competition. They're pure community, creativity, and fun. Fact 9. The Naga Fireballs, Laos's mystical Mekong light show. Each autumn, as the full moon rises over the Mekong River, crowds gather on the banks for one of Laos's most magical and mysterious spectacles, the Naga Fireballs. Locals call these glowing orbs Bung Phai Phayanak, and they believe the balls are spat out by a giant mythical serpent lurking beneath the water. As night falls during the festival of Wan Ok Phansa, marking the end of Buddhist Lent, silent orange-red balls of light begin to float up from the river's surface, rising straight into the air and disappearing without a trace. The phenomenon can range from just a handful to hundreds of fireballs in a single night, and nobody truly knows what causes them. Scientists have suggested everything from natural methane gas to flares, but the debate only adds to the mystery. For locals, though, the fireballs are a powerful symbol of faith, gratitude, and the deep connection between the river and the spirit world. The festival is a vibrant communal celebration, with riverside picnics, boat races, and fireworks. For travelers lucky enough to witness the Naga Fireballs, it's an unforgettable moment that blurs the lines between science and legend, and leaves everyone believing in a little bit of magic. Fact 10. The lasting legacy of Laos's one-party state. While Laos might seem laid back and tranquil to visitors, beneath the surface lies a political story as unique as its culture. Since 1975, Laos has been a single-party socialist republic, led by the Lao People's Revolutionary Party, after the communist Pathet Lao seized control from the monarchy. Today, Laos stands as one of the few remaining communist countries in the world, alongside China, Vietnam, North Korea, and Cuba. In practice, this means there's little room for political dissent, and the government keeps a tight grip on the press, public gatherings, and free speech. But unlike the more dramatic headlines from other authoritarian states, daily life in Laos feels gentle and communal, with tradition and Buddhist values guiding much of society. Economic reforms in the past few decades have opened doors to tourism, foreign investment, and cross-border trade, leading to slow but steady improvements in living standards. Most visitors won't notice the politics unless they dig deep, but the country's leadership plays a subtle role in shaping everything from school textbooks to which temples get repaired first. For the curious traveler, understanding this context only adds another layer of fascination to the enigmatic charm of Laos. Fact 11. High-speed rails and a new era of connection. For centuries, Laos was known for its sleepy pace and old-school transport. Think winding mountain roads, slow boats, and journeys that could take days. But in December 2021, everything changed with the launch of the country's first high-speed railway. The China-Laos Railway, stretching about 262 miles from the northern border town of Boten to the capital, Vientiane, has transformed how people and goods move across Laos. Suddenly, a trip that used to require endless hours of bone-rattling bus rides can now be made in just a few hours, zipping through tunnels and over spectacular bridges at speeds of up to 99 miles per hour. This modern marvel is part of China's grand plan to link Southeast Asia by rail, and it's already boosted trade, tourism, and everyday convenience for Laos citizens. Stations along the route have become new centers of commerce, drawing markets, hotels, and hopeful entrepreneurs. For travelers, the train offers a window into the stunning scenery of Laos: mountains, rivers, rice fields, without the need for Dramamine. The arrival of high-speed rail marks a turning point, bringing Laos firmly into the 21st century while still keeping its old-world magic alive. Fact 12. Khone Phapheng Falls, Southeast Asia's natural powerhouse. Forget Niagara. If you want to see raw river power, head to the southern tip of Laos, where the Mekong explodes into the breathtaking Khone Phapheng Falls. Often dubbed the Niagara of the East, these falls are the largest in Southeast Asia, not by height, but by sheer volume. Every second, more than 2.5 million gallons of water thunder over a labyrinth of rocky cascades and jungle-covered islands. The falls stretch nearly 7 miles across the river, breaking the Mekong into a wild maze of rapids, eddies, and churning foam. Their might is so impressive that they make the Mekong completely impassable to boats, which explains why no single waterway ever connects all the way from China to Cambodia. Locals have long regarded Khone Phapheng as both a danger and a blessing, a prime fishing ground teeming with rare species, including the endangered Irrawaddy dolphin, but also a watery grave for unlucky fishermen and wooden canoes. For centuries, the roar of the falls has echoed through southern Laos, drawing kings, colonists, and curious travelers. Stand at the viewing platforms, feel the spray on your face, and you'll understand why Khone Phapheng is not just a waterfall, but a living force in the soul of Laos. Fact 13. Tourism's quiet boom. Laos opens its doors. For years, Laos was the hidden corner of Southeast Asia, a place known only to backpackers chasing the untouched trail. But in recent times, this peaceful land has become one of the region's most intriguing travel destinations. By 2024, more than 4 million international visitors crossed into Laos, drawn by its laid-back vibe, spiritual towns, and untouched landscapes. That's a major leap from just a decade ago, thanks to smart government campaigns like Visit Laos and simplified visa-on-arrival policies. Thai and Vietnamese tourists now flood the borders, but European and American adventurers are catching on too. Despite the growing numbers, Laos still feels refreshingly uncrowded compared to its bustling neighbors. Think fewer selfie sticks, more genuine smiles. Tourism has breathed new life into sleepy villages, sprouted boutique hotels and heritage towns, and inspired a fresh wave of creative entrepreneurs, from eco-lodges to artisan coffee shops. Yet the country is careful not to sell its soul for quick profit. Traditional festivals, slow travel, and nature conservation remain front and center. For visitors, it's a rare chance to experience Southeast Asia's old rhythms before the rest of the world catches up. Fact 14. A patchwork of peoples. Laos's astonishing ethnic diversity. Step beyond the guidebooks, and you'll quickly discover that Laos is a tapestry woven from dozens, actually hundreds, of ethnic groups, each with its own language, traditions, and colorful clothing. Officially, the Lao government recognizes 49 ethnicities, sorted into 4 broad families: Lao Thai, Mon Khmer, Hmong Mien, and a cluster of smaller groups. In reality, anthropologists count more than 200 distinct groups, especially in the remote mountain regions, where some communities have lived in virtual isolation for centuries. The majority of Lao people, known as Lao Lum or Lowland Lao, live along the Mekong and make up about 2/3 of the population. But the country's highlands and valleys are home to vibrant Hmong, Khmu, Akha, and Yao villages, each with unique festivals, musical styles, and spiritual beliefs. During the dry season, you might stumble across a Khmu wedding with bamboo dances, or visit a Hmong market selling dazzling embroidery and silver jewelry. This diversity is more than a curiosity. It's the living soul of Laos, and it explains why the country's cuisine, music, and festivals are so wonderfully varied. Traveling across Laos is like moving through different worlds, all within one peaceful, welcoming nation. Fact 15. The national flag, a symbol of hope and unity. The flag of Laos might look simple at first glance, but its design tells a powerful story about the nation's journey and aspirations. Adopted in 1975 after the Pathet Lao's victory, the flag features 3 horizontal stripes, red on top and bottom, with a broader blue band in the middle. At its heart sits a single white circle. Each color and shape is rich in symbolism. The red represents the courage and sacrifice of the Lao people throughout their tumultuous history, while the blue stands for the nation's wealth, peace, and promise. The unbroken white disc, perfectly centered, has multiple meanings. For many, it symbolizes the unity of the Lao people, regardless of their region or ethnicity, all coming together to face the future. Others see it as the full moon rising over the Mekong River, a sign of new beginnings and enduring hope. Unlike most communist flags, there's no hammer or sickle here, just a vision for a shared and harmonious future. It's a design that feels both modern and deeply rooted, quietly reflecting the spirit, resilience, and dreams of a country determined to make its mark on the world stage. Cost of living and everyday life in Laos, affordable adventure or hidden costs. For expats and digital nomads eyeing Southeast Asia, Laos might just be the region's best-kept secret. Affordable, relaxed, and still far less crowded than Thailand or Vietnam. The cost of living here is famously low. A single person can live modestly in the capital, Vientiane, on just $600 to $900 per month, around 12 million to 18 million Lao Kip, while couples or families with a taste for Western comforts might spend closer to $1,200 to $1,500, roughly 24 million to 30 million Kip. Rent for a simple furnished one-bedroom apartment starts at $250, about 5 million Kip, in the city center, and even less in smaller towns like Luang Prabang or Paksay. Local markets are full of cheap, fresh produce. Expect to pay 50 cents, about 10,000 Kip, for a kilo of sticky rice, or $2, 40,000 Kip, for a hearty bowl of noodle soup. Imported groceries, however, can triple your food budget in a flash, and Western-style restaurants often charge $10, 200,000 kip, per meal. Healthcare in Laos is still developing. Minor issues can be handled at private clinics for about $10 to $30, 200,000 to 600,000 kip per visit, but serious medical needs usually mean a trip to Thailand. Expats and long-stay visitors typically invest in international health insurance, just in case. Working in Laos is possible, though employment is mostly limited to English teaching, NGOs, tourism, or specialized business roles. Most jobs require a work permit, and average local wages are low. Office jobs often pay $200 to $400, 4 to 8 million kip, monthly. So many foreigners rely on remote work or small business ventures. The process of settling down is straightforward for those with patience. Tourist visas are easy to obtain and extensions are routine, but long-term residence or business permits require paperwork and persistence. In short, Laos offers a gentle, affordable lifestyle for those seeking simplicity and adventure, with a warm community and slow pace of life. Just come with realistic expectations, a spirit of flexibility, and maybe a little cash for the occasional border run or medical trip to Bangkok. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Laos. If any of these facts surprised you, let me know in the comments which one blew your mind. I'd love to hear your stories, experiences, or corrections if you've been to Laos or plan to visit. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more surprising travel guides from every corner of the globe. If you found this interesting, share it with a friend who loves hidden gems. And as always, I reply to every comment, so let's keep the conversation going below.